interesting because someone just
Fuck
sent
no.
me a link. Apparently, there's an actual breed of pigs in Spain called a Gascon.
Gascon also says claims that his policy for
Fuck
the
no.
reason many people who have been arrested in smash and grab robberies have been able to get out of jail quickly aren't true. He says the people who were arrested were released before the cases hit his desk. Blake Trolley,
Fuck
KFI
no.
News.
Some men had smashed into a gun shop in Garden Grove and made off with 40 guns. The security guard tells KCLA he saw guys breaking shortly after midnight.
I mean, that's a lot for, only being in there for about 5 minutes. So they must have known exactly, where they were going and what they were doing.
Police say they think it may have been an inside job. An Orange County Sheriff's deputy who was fired during evidence booking scandal for dumping drugs and other evidence into a trash can is set to be rehired. Sheriff spokeswoman Terry Braun says the department strongly disagrees with an arbitrator's ruling but has no choice.
We have begun the process of transitioning Deputy Torres back as an employee. And that transition period will include the review of all department policies with an emphasis on the importance of evidence booking procedures.
The arbitrator ruled the conduct was horrible, but firing the deputy was excessive. The ruling also mentioned other deputies with similar misconduct who were not fired. 2 lawsuits, each seeking $100 million, have been filed in the case of a mass fatal shooting at a high school in Michigan. The lawsuits have been filed on behalf of the student who got shot in the neck last week and her sister, who was next to her. Administrators say and teachers and counselors are among those named in the suit. The Senate has approved a resolution to overturn President Biden's COVID-19 vaccine and testing mandate for private businesses with 100 or more employees. 2 Democrats voted with Republicans to pass the measure. The resolution now will go to the House. Santa has gotten his COVID-19 booster shot. White House medical advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci says Santa is fully protected against COVID ahead of handing out Christmas Eve deliveries and presents to all the good girls and boys. And the number of people in the U.S. applying for unemployment benefits has dropped to its lowest level in 25 years. 184,000 people applied for jobless benefits last week. We're looking at your ride on the 110.
Yeah, we've got some problems there. In the South Pasadena area, this is going to be the 110 freeway southbound before York Boulevard. Earlier crash has cleared out of the mainline lanes, but traffic's still very slow back from Orange Grove as a result. Seeing a big mess in Orange County, the southbound side of the 55 freeway southbound. It's going to be right around Edinger, where a car apparently spun out, hit a power pole. The pole is down in the roadway there, and a whole lot of activity. The southbound 55 jammed up solid from Capella as you approach the area. Trying to get through the Riverside area. 60 freeway eastbound before Main Street. Injury wreck there has the right lane blocked. Slow from Rubidoux. And in the Pacoima area, I-5 northbound at the 118. That transition to the 118 west still closed until further notice. And one more for you in Upland. Injury crash 210 eastbound past Campus Avenue. Right shoulder blocked with a crash there. CHP still working that. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Will Goldschreiber.
The Clippers, still without Kawhi Leonard, had to face the Boston Celtics without Paul George as well. Luckily, LA has their own Boston. Rookie Brandon Boston Jr., who scored 27 points to help the Clips hold off 2 scary late-game Celtic rallies.
114, 111, 1.6 seconds remaining. No timeout for Boston. The 40-footer at the horn. Missed it long. And the Clippers escape here at Staples Center with a victory. 114 to 111. Short-handed, they get past the Boston Celtics.
The Lakers are at the Memphis Grizzlies at 5. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
If you own a business and you manage to keep 5 or more employees on the payroll during the pandemic, there's a new government program that will actually pay you tens of thousands of dollars per employee. It's not a loan. It's grants, your money. The problem is getting hold of your money. It's a complicated federal bureaucracy, and innovationrefunds.com cuts through that red tape and gets you the money. They are experts in helping businesses like yours, like mine, get our share of these government incentives and relief funds. And they do all the legwork, don't charge a dime until you receive the money, and then they share a percentage of the money you get. It's a contingency arrangement. They got my business in another program that they offer, a 6-figure refund. In this program, their average client gets $250,000. Go to innovationrefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me button, answer a few questions. Innovationrefunds.com. That's innovationrefunds.com.
Hi, we're Hoke. We've got
Dr. Robert Lewis. He's a neurosurgeon at Pickup Family Neurosciences Institute who loves camping with his daughter. He is also a nationally recognized expert in minimally invasive brain tumor surgery at Hoag. Dr. Lewis would love to get to know you and is ready to make a positive difference in your family's life. Get to know Hoag. Visit hoaghealth.org and find your physician today.
Your Kfi Financial Report is brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow is down 78, S&P down 9, NASDAQ down 44, and the average price of a gallon of unleaded gas in California is down a penny from yesterday. We're now at $4.68.
With a range of commercial fire and security solutions, Bay Alarm can protect it all with just one call.
Rain or showers likely today with highs from the mid-50s to low 60s. We should be dry through the weekend, and more rain is possible by the first part of next week. 53 right now in Rancho Santa Margarita, 56 in Garden Grove, 54 in Glendora, and in Santa Clarita. We lead locals live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and
Good morning, Bill Handel and the morning crew. Thursday morning, December 9th. Yeah, we're heading into that season again for sure. Some of the big stories that we are covering. The jurors in the Jussie Smollett case are expected to resume deliberations today. And California is considering $500 fines for water wasters because of this worsening drought. Even in the midst of this rain, it looks like it's not going to be a very rainy winter, which, of course, we desperately need. Now, the Supreme Court, and one of the most anticipated cases in decades is going to be looking at Roe v. Wade, and a couple of cases going up. And it can be pretty narrow. And even though Roe v. Wade itself is not being attacked directly, the court could easily say, we're going to get rid of Roe v. Wade as a constitutional right to abortion. So as a result of that, the court is actually going to overturn Roe v. Wade. Maybe not on its face, but certainly allow it de facto to be overturned by allowing the states to pass any kind of law to restrict it. 6 weeks, 15 weeks, those numbers. So in any case, let's move on. And I want to share with you what California is doing. You've got 24 states, 26, I think, states. Abortion will be illegal. That's it. If Roe v. Wade is overturned on its face, and if not, they're going to make it impossible to do so. California is going the other way completely. We are the liberal state, and no kidding on this issue. California clinics, abortion clinics, and their allies, who happen to be in the state legislature, revealed a plan to make the state a sanctuary for people seeking reproductive care, abortions in this case, because that's really where the issue is in terms of birth control, etc. People aren't that upset about it. But here is part of the sanctuary state concept, possibly paying for travel, lodging, procedures for people from other states. Whoa! So the California Future of Abortion Council, it's an organization of about 40 abortion providers and advocacy groups, released a list of 45 recommendations. And among them is paying for abortions for out-of-state women who are pregnant. I mean, that is, and who are poor, by the way. Because obviously women of means are going to come over here and they don't have to worry about it. It's always the poor that get nailed on this stuff. So some of the state's most important policymakers actually helped write this stuff. And you know who started the group? Gavin Newsom started the group. And he said, we'll be a sanctuary. Patients will likely travel to California from other states to seek abortion. We're looking at ways to support that inevitability and looking at ways to expand our protection. So as states are going to make it harder and harder and harder and possibly completely illegal and criminal to perform an abortion, here comes California saying not only do we allow it, we're going to help you get it right here in California. Now here's something that most states don't do. California already pays for abortion for low-income residents through the Medicaid program. And we're one of those states that require private insurance companies to cover abortions. Although there are co-pays and deductibles, etc. And by the way, in terms of the money, how dare we pay that money? I mean, we should spend that money on Californians.
money's not going to be a problem. The state is awash in money. I mean, the surplus next year, according to the Independent Legislative Analyst's Office, is going to be $31 billion, on top of tens of billions last year. I mean, even during the pandemic, money was coming in. Planned Parenthood got a sneak peek of how people might seek abortions outside their home state this year when that Texas law outlawed abortion after 6 weeks. That was signed into law by the governor of Texas, and you think people will come rushing into California. They really didn't. There was such a slight increase in patients from Texas. No one understands why. So the report recommends funding, including public spending. So there'll be probably a combination of grants and public spending to help people, to help women obtain abortions who come in from out of state, including travel expenses, child care, lodging. Ask lawmakers to reimburse abortion providers for services or people who can't pay. I mean, this is pretty far-reaching. Now, is that going to happen? Well, the recommendations are saying, yes, please let it happen. Now, normally crazy recommendations, not that this is crazy, let's say far-reaching recommendations are aspirational for the most part. Not this one. Man, this one's probably going to happen simply because of the way we see it. Now, we don't know how many people are going to come to California. We talked about there's going to be this huge influx of women seeking abortion coming to California from these states that make it illegal. California doesn't collect or report abortion statistics. We don't know. According to the Guttmacher Institute, a research group that supports abortion rights, 132 abortions performed in California, 15% of all abortions nationally. But it doesn't break down insurance, private pay, how many people came in from out of state anyway. So they don't know. And Planned Parenthood accounts for about half of the abortion clinics in the state. Now, according to Fabiola Korean, who is at the National Health Law Program, says, let me tell you, a huge influx is going to destabilize our abortion provider network. And the other problem is that women will come into California to have abortions performed at a later date than they would have at home. Making the arrangements, waiting, and of course, later-term abortions are more dangerous. They're more complicated. So we'll see what the state has to say. Oh, also, on top of that, we tell you what another recommendation, which may come into law. It asks lawmakers to help clinics increase their workforce by giving scholarships to medical students who pledge to offer abortion services in rural areas, helping them pay off student loans, assist with their liability insurance premiums. It's a lot like small towns throughout the United States will either pay a premium, in some cases a large premium, for doctors to come and practice in the town, be the town doctor, or in this case, and boy, is this going to have some kind of a backlash, we'll give you a scholarship to medical school if you pledge to come in and go into rural areas and offer abortion services. Coming up, California's water supply is big trouble, and especially in the Sierra Nevadas, and it's not good. Well, but it's raining, so at least that's good news. Well, I'll cover that when we come back. KFI AM 640. Let's check in with Jennifer Jones-Lee.
President Biden wants the federal government to zero out its carbon emissions by 2050. He also hopes to see emissions cut by 65% by the end of the decade. A verdict is possible in the case of an actor best known for the TV show Empire, Jussie Smollett, accused of a hate crime, a hoax nearly 3 years ago in Chicago. And Amazon is set to stream a concert from rappers Kanye West and Drake tonight. It's happening here in Los Angeles to benefit Larry Hoover, a former gang leader convicted of murder, extortion, and money laundering in 1997. We've got your job on the 55 with DKFI in the sky next.
The holidays are doubly important this year, so make your celebrations doubly special. At Ralph's, we've got a huge selection of high-quality meat on top of fresh, natural produce, like fresh, never-frozen, prime-grade beef, and our Simple Truth organic Brussels sprouts, or delicious king crab legs with our private selection gourmet potatoes. Oh, I can say that doubly fast. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
Save big on bone-in Farmer John's full half ham. It's just 99 cents a pound with your card. Limit one with additional $25 purchase. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
SoCal weather from KFI. Rain or showers likely today with highs in the mid-50s to the low 60s. Let's check your drive on the 55.
It's southbound side there in Santa Ana, right there at Edinger Avenue. You've got a crash blocking that off-ramp there. Car hit a pole. Traffic stop and go all the way back to Chapman Avenue. If you are looking to get through the Pacoima area, I-5 northbound with the 118 crash blocking the transition to the 118 west until further notice. Traffic pretty much jammed back from Van Nuys Boulevard. If you are in the South Pasadena area, the good news is this crash is cleared 110 freeway southbound right before York Boulevard. The bad news, though, traffic taking its time to empty out. It is jammed solid all the way back from Orange Grove. And in the Riverside area, 60 freeway eastbound before Maine. Injury wreck there has the right lane blocked. You're slow from Valley Way. The Main Street on-ramp to the East 60 is also blocked as well. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Will Colschreiber.
Hey, Mario Lopez here, and I don't know about you, but I am stoked to get outdoors again. Dining at restaurants, watching live music. It's so great to have it all back, but with privilege comes responsibility. Make sure you're doing your part to help reduce the spread of COVID-19. Getting tested is easy at COVID Clinic. Go to covidclinic.org to book an appointment at no cost to the patient. COVID Clinic has locations conveniently located all throughout the state. So visit covidclinic.org to find the closest one to you. Again, that is covidclinic.org.
When you think of selling your house, on one hand, you're probably thinking, man, I am going to make a lot of money off this puppy. But then you start thinking, oh, but wait, before that, I have to do all those repairs myself. And then there are all those dreaded open houses and strangers tromping through your house, the crummy parts that have always gone along with selling a home. Well, imagine if those old-fashioned ways were just things of the past. That is the case with OpenDoor.com. OpenDoor invented a whole new way to sell your home, and it's one without the hurdles and the hassles of listings, showings, and all the unknowns. So if you're thinking about selling your house in Los Angeles, think about selling it to OpenDoor. To get your free offer, just go to opendoor.com/KFI. Enter your address, tell them just a few, little information about your house. They'll make you an offer in minutes. And what I loved about the process, you knew exactly how much you were going to get. You can close when you are ready, and you can do everything online at opendoor.com/KFI. So sell your home the new fashioned way, opendoor.com/KFI. Offer eligibility varies. Opendoor is represented by Opendoor Brokerage Inc., license number 020-61130 in California, and Opendoor Brokerage LLC in its other markets. Get your free offer today at opendoor.com/KFI.
Hello?
Hi, Tiffany. I'm a helpful Southern California Honda person, and I'm calling to give you a random act of helpfulness.
Really?
Yeah, we heard you could use our help decorating for the holiday.
Well, my daughter, she's been fighting cancer for the past 2 years because of her immune system. She hasn't really been able to see the Christmas lights. Bringing the festivities to her, I think it would just lift her spirits and make her feel special.
Well, Honda would like to help. We're going to get your house all decorated for your daughter.
Thank you so much. She's going to love it. Oh my gosh.
Today, we help the family get in the holiday spirit. And we can help you too with great deals on select certified pre-owned Hondas, like 0.99% APR financing and 24/7 roadside assistance. Visit SoCalHondaDealers.com to find a helpful Honda dealer near you. For well-qualified buyers on approved credit through Honda Financial Services, roadside assistance available for the duration of the certified pre-owned limited warranty. Tiffany is a real person and was paid to be on the radio.
We have a lot to celebrate this holiday season, but COVID-19 hasn't gone away. So let's make sure to keep our celebration safer by following these tips. Get vaccinated to protect loved ones, and get a booster to keep your immunity strong. Wear a mask when it can protect you and others, and if possible, keep gatherings small, short, and outdoors if you're uncertain of everyone's vaccination status. Bring on the cheer safely this year. Find a vaccine near you at myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Spectrum Business is proud to support small businesses with the best internet and phone services at the best value. But we want to do more. So now, for a limited time, get 1 month of services for free. That's right, 1 month on us. Get 200 megabits per second internet and business phones, and even TV, all free for 1 month. Plus, free installation. Call 855-757-4544 or visit spectrum.com/business today. Restrictions apply.
I've been renovating homes for over 20 years, so I know that homeowners love details. On Houzz, that's Houzz, you can find pros like me, read reviews from our customers, and see our completed projects.
Plus, Pros on House can give clients a project dashboard where they can see all the details of their renovation anytime. That's peace of mind for my clients. And less paperwork for both of us.
Join the more than 65 million homeowners using House and find the right pro to give you a great renovation experience. That's HOUZZ.
Hey, have you ever thought about joining the team at your local Stater Brothers?
You know, I have, but what's it like working there?
Oh, it's great. You get an employee discount, earn competitive union wages, and schedules are flexible.
Oh, wow. All that and it's close to home? Well, I'm definitely interested. Is it easy to apply?
Yeah, just ask a team member for more details and apply online on our careers page at StaterBROS.com. Hope to hear from you soon. Your blue polo's waiting for you at Stater Brothers Market.
We know you listen to KFI, but when it's that time of year, you can hear your favorite Christmas music right now on the official holiday music station, Coast 103.5. All your favorite holiday songs. Coast 103.5, your home for the holidays.
Kfi Am 640. More stimulating talk.
Good morning, Bill Handel here on a Thursday morning, December 9th. As we speak, I'm watching the Bob Dole commemorative service at the U.S. Capitol in the Rotunda, and he is lying in state, and that's an honor given to very, very few people. But he was in the Senate for 40 years, and it's considered one of the foremost legislators. Ran for president a couple of times. Well, ran for president several times. Once was the nominee. Now let's move over to the drought. Here it is, third straight year, and officials are tightening limits. Now, we've already been asked to reduce our water usage by 15% by Governor Newsom, and we've made a big 3% dent, or not even 3%. And if you look at the state's water reservoirs, well below average, although they've been lower a couple of times. Several of them less than a third of their capacity. And how do we get them full again? You look for rain and snow. But that's not very promising. The precipitation levels are just not going to be doing what they should be doing. Now, the fact that it's raining, it has been raining and will for over the next several days, a couple of storms coming in, it's both bad and good. The good news is this is the kind of rain we want. And that's this gentle rain that comes down, let's say drizzly plus, and certainly not a heavy rain or even a medium rain, and that we want to go on for days and days and weeks, because you don't get floods. The ground absorbs the water in a way that doesn't cause damage to the ground crevices being torn up. Well, you know what happens when we have floods. It's crazy. And floods happen as a result of rainstorms coming in. Now, the problem is the Sierra Nevada. This is where we get an enormous amount of water from. It's one of the several places we get it, but this is our homegrown water. California's cities, farms, and we grow over a third of the vegetables in the country, 2/3 of the fruit and nuts. Those industries, those farm industries, rely on the runoff from the snowpack up in the Sierra Nevadas. That's the problem, the snowpack. Because deeper the snowpack, the more water is available as the snow melts during the spring. And guess what? We're not getting very much of it, for sure. Now, our rain and snow in California fall mainly in the mountains, and primarily in winter and spring. But here's what happens. We have to get through the summer. And to get water to Southern California, which is semi-arid, parts of it are desert, we need the flood control. And so what we did over the past century is develop a whole system of reservoirs, tunnels, canals. Matter of fact, the largest project in the state was put into place by Pat Brown, Jerry Brown's dad, the state aqueduct system. And it's an extraordinary project. Delivers water from the northern Sierra to the southern half of the state. And the problem is that it should give us water on a regular level. Now we go back to flooding. When there is heavy rains,
too much water builds up too quickly, and what happens, and then flows into the reservoirs, and what happens is flood control comes in. Water has to be released because there's just too much for a very short period of time. Well, that doesn't help anybody. And then the problem becomes that the droughts get droutier. And we're in the middle of a multi-year dry period. So let me give you a couple of stats. Over the past 1,100 years, there has been at least one dry period lasting from 2 to 4 years each century. There have been 2 in the past 35 years. 1987 to 92, 2012 to 2015. And we remember those, the last time those happened. And in drought, that precipitates our use of water being diminished, and then we're now talking about lawns not being watered. Yeah, do you remember last time people spray painted their lawns green, and you couldn't wash your car, and you couldn't wash your driveways, sidewalks, and they asked you to limit even toilet flushing the first time around, 1987, 1992. Honest to God, they asked people to diminish their use of water in the toilet. There was a great phrase that was out there, and it was actually used by officials when talking about water usage. If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. What? Yeah, it got that bad. And then we have rising global temperature. That affects the runoff from the Sierra Nevada. And Sierra Nevada, in terms of the amount of water it produces, or the mountains produce, 60% of California's developed water system. That's a lot. So, water storage is the answer, right? Not really. Now, groundwater, if there isn't enough water coming in, is then used. But here's the problem. Groundwater has to be replenished. And it is replenished during the wet periods of the year. Well, what's going on is the state has been pumping out more water than the replenishment water coming in. And parts of the state rely 100% on the Colorado River, and the dams there provide for several years of water storage, but there isn't runoff to fill the dam. So those are way, way below their not only capacity, but their history of the amount of water that's coming in. I mean, it's we're looking at some tough times, but are we going to do it? Yeah, we are, because we did it. We cut water supply 25%, and then the allocation from the state water systems is now zero. It's been down to 5%. It is zero. There will be no additional water supplies brought in, so that means everybody has to they have to tighten their belts for sure. The farmers, industry, and consumers. And so be prepared for looking at water at one of those issues that we just have to deal with. It's the cost of doing business. Traffic is the cost of doing business in Southern California, and conserving water to a great extent will be the cost of business. Homicides. 30% increase, the largest single-year jump in 60 years. Now, why? What happened? Brad Garrett, ABC News crime and terrorism analyst, joins us, and we'll try to dive into that a little deeper. This is KFI AM 640. Let's check in with Jennifer.
A former Long Beach school safety officer accused of shooting a woman who was in a car leaving campus has pleaded not guilty to a murder charge. Officials say the safety officer was patrolling at the end of September when he saw some sort of fight between 18-year-old Mona Rodriguez and a 15-year-old girl. They say when Rodriguez and two others tried to leave, the officer shot at the car. Rodriguez was shot in the head, and she died from her injuries a few days later. News is brought to you by Rooter Hero. A woman's been hurt in a robbery at a shoe store in South L.A. Police say the group went into the store about 6 last night and stole several items. A man in Kern County is facing attempted murder charges for shooting at a couple of teenagers who threw water balloons at him. The guy was sleeping in his pickup Sunday when he first heard the first round of balloons hit. While the man was checking his truck for damage, police say the teens drove by again. That's when the man started shooting. Votes are scheduled to be counted from workers at 3 Starbucks stores in Buffalo, New York, who cast ballots on whether to form a union. Buffalo News reporter Matt Glynn said many of the workers have been with Starbucks a long time.
They feel very committed to the company, but they feel like they want to have more of a voice at the table. They say they want to fulfill some of the things that they often hear from the company and bring that forward through the terms of a contract.
Starbucks has resisted efforts to unionize, and a yes vote could push to unionize more of the coffee company's stores. The children's show Reading Rainbow is coming back to TV. The original show was canceled in 2006 because of money problems. This new version will be called Reading Rainbow Live. It'll be hosted by a young comedy group. Reading Rainbow was the third longest running show in PBS history. The show originally aired in 1983 and was hosted by actor LeVar Burton. There's Comic-Con, there's Politicon, and now there's Golden Con. Thank you for being a friend.
All you fans of Dorothy, Rose, Sophia, and Blanche, the hot ones, Golden Con celebrates all things Golden Girls. The three-day event takes place next year in Chicago and will feature a costume parade, pop-up bar, trivia competitions, and a disco party. The NBC sitcom ran from 1985 to 92, but it's still got a cult following to this day. B. Arthur, Estelle Getty, and Rue McClanahan have since passed, but Betty White will be celebrating her 100th birthday January 17th. For more info on Golden Con, you can go to thankyouforbeingafan.com. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
Let's find out why it's slow on the 405.
Well, we found a roll of carpet in the roadway on the 405, southbound right around Getty Center Drive. So it's backing you up through the Sepulveda Pass there. Hopefully CHP on the way to get that out of your way shortly. It's jammed up from about Victory Boulevard. We've got big problems in Highland Park. The 110 freeway northbound before Via Marisol crash in the center lane there. That's got things slow from Avenue 43. Our ongoing issues are ongoing in Riverside. 60 freeway eastbound before Main Street. The industry wreck there, and the white lane has traffic really jammed up back from Valley Way. Also in Fullerton. The 57 southbound at Orange Stork, Big Rig Fire. The fire's out, but the right lane is still blocked. It's jammed up solid from Tonner Canyon. And in Irwindale, we still have this closure. 210 freeway, westbound at the 605. You can't transition to the 605 south. And if they have to repair some damage, it's going to be the case pretty much all the way into the afternoon commute. So, again, that's the 210 westbound at the 605. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Will Goldschreiber.
The California Department of Housing and Community Development has issued a notice that Anaheim's sale of Angel Stadium to Halo's owner Artie Moreno violates state affordable housing laws. The good news, the city still has time to alter the deal to bring it into compliance. Speaking of Anaheim, the Anaheim Ducks are holding second place in the Pacific Division, heading into today's match in Columbus against the Blue Jackets. That starts at 4. The Kings, not quite as highly ranked there. They get the Dallas Stars at 7:30. You can listen live through the iHeartRadio app. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
So many of our listeners have entrusted Sweet James accident attorneys in their time of need after being injured in an accident, and you know why. In the moments and days following an accident, people don't know what to do or who to turn to. Your life has changed, you're in pain, you might not be able to drive or work. The worst part is the insurance company that promises to protect you will try to pay you the least amount possible for your injury. The team at Sweet James will not let this happen. They'll help you get the medical care you need and help you get your life back on track. While their award-winning attorneys work on your behalf to get you the most amount of money possible, you pay nothing until they win your case. If you or someone you love is hurt in an accident, call Sweet James at 800-500-5200, 800-500-5200, or sweetjames.com.
SoCal weather from KFI. Rain and showers pretty much everywhere in Southern California right now, and they should stay likely throughout the rest of the day. Temperature's pretty cool. Highs will just be in the mid-50s to the low 60s. Warm up just a couple of degrees as we head through the weekend, but we should be dry. Our next chance at rain comes the first part of next week. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
This has been another year of change. But what hasn't changed is the need for life-saving care at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. CHLA saves lives, but they need your life-saving support. Your donations provide world-class care and life-changing research for critically ill kids. Please, give generously. Call 800-670-CHLA or visit donatechla.org to make your year-end donation.
Living with someone who tested positive for COVID-19 in the past 5 days? Those 18 and